begin here at 5 o'clock with a traffic alert. I-5 right now is closed in North Portland in both directions. This is near the Rosa Parks exit. It's been this way all day and is now impacting the evening commute. As you can see, you are taking a live look right now at a huge backup on the interstate. This is all because of a crime spree and a carjacking that ended after police shot and killed the suspect. At this point, we have no idea when I-5 will reopen. Our Mike Benner, though, is live for us in North Portland, where this all came to an end. Mike, what do we know?
Yeah, hey there, a little bit of an update for you. Just within the last few minutes or so, we noticed some cars coming down.
An unusual sight in North Portland. I-5 shut down in both directions.
Anything.
An unusual sight in North Portland. I-5 shut down in both directions.
Anything we respond to is dangerous. Anything we respond to, you just can't predict how it's going to go.
Nathan Shepard of the Portland Police Bureau says it all started Monday morning with a home invasion robbery. According to the Oregonian, it happened near Northeast Grant Place and 32nd. That's right by Beverly Cleary School. The Oregonian reports a short time later, shots were fired near the Hyatt Regency in the Lloyd district. Police say the suspect followed that up with several armed carjackings, at least one in the area of I-5 and Rosa Parks Way. The suspect, we're told, then drove southbound in the northbound lanes of the interstate.
The suspect got out of his vehicle and attempted another carjacking. He stopped the vehicle, and in the course of that carjacking, he shot one of the occupants. From what I understand, the occupant has been taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Moments after that shooting, authorities say officers shot and killed the suspect. The threat was over. The investigation just beginning.
This is a very complex investigation with a lot of crime scenes spanning all over North and Northeast Portland.
All right, back out here live in North Portland. We had some technical issues off the top there, but I can tell you we've noticed in the last few minutes some cars heading down the southbound side of I-5. Not nearly as many that we typically see, so the southbound side is not completely reopened yet, but it is reopening, it appears. Northbound lane should be right behind that as we just see a few cars on that side of the interstate. It is worth mentioning that Chief Chuck Lavelle tweeted out earlier that both he and Mayor Ted Wheeler spent some time on scene this afternoon. He appreciates everybody's patience. He knows that this has been an inconvenience, but he said detectives needed time to collect evidence, process the scene, and interview witnesses. Let's send it back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you for that live report. And as Mike said, some progress as cars are beginning to move through those southbound lanes. So we will be sure to bring you updates as this story and as this traffic situation develops. You can find the latest information on air and online at KGW.com. And for alerts sent straight to your smartphone, you can download our KGW News mobile app. A 20-year-old woman accused of running over and killing a homeless man in his tent faces serious criminal charges tonight, including drunk driving. Homeless advocates say it's one more reason the city of Portland needs to stop talking and start moving the homeless out of danger. Pat Doris reports.
Video from the crash around 3:30 in the morning Sunday reveals a horrible scene. Police accuse 20-year-old April Lee Johnson of drunk driving and negligent homicide for letting her car veer off the northbound freeway off-ramp from Interstate 205 to Southeast Powell Boulevard. Her car flew up a small hill and through the tent where 27-year-old Terrence Tomby slept. He died at the scene.
I'd like to tell you a little bit about the man who died here. Everybody has a story. We don't know a lot about his, though. Apparently, he went by the street name of T, was a younger white man who was new to this area and lived in his tent with his cat.
Today, shattered glass, broken parts, and a car light hint at the violence of the crash. The Central Church of the Nazarene sits just across the off-ramp's intersection on Powell. Pastor Matt Huff said his congregation does all it can to help those living on the streets.
We kind of got our hands in quite a bit,
including the use of those green mats behind him for a winter shelter with the Union Gospel Mission. He said the city needs to do more to protect those living outside.
I know everybody needs a place to go, and we've got quite a few unhoused neighbors. But obviously camping alongside of 205 and the off-ramps just not safe. So it would be fantastic if the city could really move on the safe rest villages they've been talking about.
Those villages are still just talk for now, delayed several times. When open, they will provide safe, secure alternatives to campsites where many currently live. Sarah Chapman is an outreach worker with the church and knows many of the area campers.
I always worry about them. This is not the first time a car has left the road and hit one of the tents. That happened to someone I know closely up on Division a couple of years ago.
It was November of 2019, in fact. Sarah said the woman run over survived and recovered physically, but is still struggling in other areas. It's common to see tents along our freeway off-ramps. We videotaped this group today at Foster off 205 South. The city of Portland is responsible for moving the campers out. They refused to go on camera today. But they sent a report showing recent work cleaning out camps on the southbound off-ramp from 205 to Powell, but not the northbound side.
I think that our city should be doing more. I don't think there's one right answer, but I think there are many answers. And I think those 6 villages that they have promised to the city would be amazing.
Pat Doris, KGW News.
Officials have discovered 3 cases of the Omicron variant of COVID-19 in Washington state. The patients are a man in his 20s in Pierce County, a man in his 30s in Thurston County, and a woman in her 20s in King County. They were tested last week. The Washington Department of Health says they do not believe the cases are related. Well, with the Omicron variant now in the Northwest, doctors are urging travelers to follow safety protocols. Our Bryant Clerkley talked with a doctor to get some advice on that and new information about the new variant. Bryant.
Hey, Ashley, the Omicron variant is a reminder of the need to be vaccinated. Dr. Ann Leffler says there's still a lot we don't know about the variant, but we do know it's highly transmissible.
Keep your mask on, keep your hands clean, keep your distance, and we'll get through this.
Dr. Ann Loeffler, Deputy Health Officer with Multnomah County, says it's likely to be a few months before we know a lot more about the Omicron variant. Until then, travelers need to follow safety protocols. Health officials believe the variant spreads twice as fast as Delta, but there is encouraging news. Many cases appear to be mild.
Honestly, if this variant turns out to be super mild, like a cold, I don't think it's going to change anything we do.
Monday at PDX, some of the travelers admit they're a bit anxious about a new variant.
Well, I'm wearing the KN95 mask pretty much now. I'm just really good about limiting my exposure. I'm going to visit a sister who is ill, and so I need to really be careful about that as well.
Some travelers say we've been doing this for almost 2 years now, and with experience comes ease.
And as long as everybody's wearing their mask and staying safe apart, pretty solid on it. Should be all right.
And there are travel restrictions because of the Omicron variant. All international travelers are required to get tested within 1 day of arriving in the U.S. and you have to show a negative test result before you can get on a flight. That's even if you've been vaccinated. Ashley?
Bryant, thank you.
We've already have lost over 3,000 substitute teachers since the pandemic began.
School districts across Oregon, Washington, and really the rest of the country are struggling. They don't have enough staff, and they haven't been able to fill the growing number of openings. Our Maggie Vespa is here now with a look ahead to the story coming up here at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, Ashley, and as you know, the staffing shortage is tonight's big story coming up at 6. Is putting added stress on teachers and forcing districts to pay up big time with hiring incentives. And we've heard many times that the pandemic, of course, exacerbated the staffing shortage, causing some teachers, in fact, also to retire early. Some cited things like the stress of teaching remotely during the pandemic, but state education officials and teachers say there are multiple factors fueling this.
It's the stress of the work, the school violence, just the increased academic rigor that we expect, which is good for our students. Then on top of that, you add concerns about health.
Teachers deserve higher compensation for the work that they do every single day in and out of the classrooms.
So that was Nicole Butler-Hooten there, Oregon's 2021 Teacher of the Year. She says teachers are expected to do more now than they ever have been before, and they often find themselves de-escalating fights and outbursts and becoming sort of a counselor in those moments. We've covered how those fights are escalating in classrooms. Right. And again, you know, Christine Pitawanich has been covering education for us really well throughout the pandemic. So she has part 1 of 2 on this issue coming up at 6 on The Story.
Okay, we'll be watching, Maggie. Thank you.
Sure.